Mrs. Schlein.
Thanks, Chair. There is no doubt about, hello Commissioner, it's always a pleasure to have you here. There is no doubt about the importance of greater attention to Africa and a huge plan of investment. It is needed. But as I was reading the Commission communication, I had the impression that it was mainly focused on improving cooperation and capacity with third countries so that they will manage better their borders and prevent migrants from crossing, of course, the borders and come to Europe. I think the conditionality betrays the mission of development. I think border management does not create opportunities for young Africans. It does not reduce inequalities, but actually fosters them. The communication on this new partnership framework clearly underlines this conditionality and positive and negative incentives to be integrated in EU's development policies, rewarding or punishing those countries that cooperate in managing flows of irregular migrants. It states as well that programming of aid by the EU should be even more targeted, and that, I am quoting, to deliver the compacts, the Commission will ensure that in the design and implementation of all programmes under all focal sectors chosen in a country, positive impacts on migration flows and management will be maximised. The issue of financing as well. Since the 2016 budget was agreed, the EU has made a number of additional commitments which come with extensive budgetary implications. The facility for refugees in Turkey, the pledges in London, and now this migration partnership framework. And always the same question, how they will be funded. These commitments cannot come at the expense of planned ODA. We are reinforcing the Trust Fund with additional 500 million diverted from the EDF to deliver the compacts. With regard to the new external investment fund to be created, 3.1 billion will be diverted from EDF, DCI and the Neighbourhood Investment Facility. I think that diverting development funds is not the way here. Article 208 of the Lisbon Treaty clearly states that the Union's development cooperation policy has as its primary objective the reduction and, in the long term, the eradication of poverty. Using funds specifically designed for achieving this goal for any other purpose, like border control, not only goes against the treaty, but would also mean failing to address the long-term underlying causes of the crisis. I couldn't agree more with my colleague Goerens. Let's not forget that our aim here is to fight poverty and inequalities and not to stem migration flows. We can see the pressure around you, but I think, Commissioner, that you have to resist. This is going to cost Europe its soft power in the long run. Finally, the partnership frameworks remain state-to-state agreements when we know that the best to tackle the root causes of migration is to work with local governance capabilities in towns and cities and of course working with them because they are offering key service to the population. Just other two points. Another priority is the implementation of the SDG. I think now it's the time to show that the EU is serious about this. I'm glad to know that you're working on a new action plan to be presented in next fall on both internal and external sides, and I fully agree that we need to overcome the silos. Also in this House, we have to work in that direction. Last point, you know my obsession with the issue of tax evasion and tax avoidance in developing countries. I wanted to ask you at what point we are now. Panama Papers, I think, showed more than ever that these are global phenomena, and we have to find global answers. So can you provide us with some follow-up of the Addis Tax Initiative? And let me remind you that the first step is having impact assessment at the European level of the impact of fiscal policies in developing countries. Thanks.